How's everybody doing?
Woohoo! Not all
Love,
at once,
I love these feature Fridays. They're pretty cool. So
right?
today I'm going to talk about niche marketing. I know it was advertised as funnel marketing for your lead gen business, but I'm going to share with you something that I created back in 2023, which is called Niche Ninjas Marketing. And it's something I just kind of developed over the course of time and with trial and error. And we had a lot of fails and spent a lot of money doing this, but we finally got it right in 2023. I'm just trying to okay. So I know we've only got half an hour and I can blow this into 2 hours if I want, but and trust me, I'm not here to sell a program. I just want to be fully transparent on that. I'm just telling you about what I built and what it did for my business. So, but we're going to cover basically everyone knows who I am, what niche marketing is, how it works, how to find and define your niche. And we're going to start with my case study and we'll get into some questions. Everybody turn off their phones. Just get away from your distractions. Give me 30 minutes. I'm here for you. You be here for me. Um, this is basically myself and my partner. I've been in the business for 23 years now, consistently in the top 1%. I've mentored hundreds of agents in North America every year. I still do. And I'm going to show you how I turned $4,700 of ad spend into over 124,000 in GCI in 6 months. This is the case study. I usually end with this, but I thought today it would be cool to start with it. So does everybody here focus on different niches for lead generation? Or do you guys just go and sell everything and anything to everybody? A sale's a sale.
Yes, I do based on my language, right? So I'm concentrating on Russian-speaking people living in Georgina and Newmarket, Aurora, and also based on my religion, concentrating on the people in my church, their families.
That's a niche. So I was sitting with an agent of 30 years and I asked her what her niche was, and she said downsizers. And I said, downsizers, eh? I said, okay, what type of downsizer? And she's like, what do you mean? And I'm like, well, there's all kinds of types of downsizers. And I go, there's downsizers of people who are financially in trouble that need to downsize their lifestyle. There are downsizers that are, over the age of 60 that have been in their home for 30 years that need to downsize into a smaller space because of maintenance. What type of downsizer are you looking at and focusing on? And the problem is everybody, let's look at it as a funnel. So you've got downsizer at the top, but there's all different types of downsizers. And by the time you get to the bottom, you've got this niche that is a downsizer niche. And there's different ones. There's not just one. And so what I did was I ran a paid campaign, which we'll talk about. I focused on downsizers over the age of 50 in Mississauga, in a specific location in Mississauga. See how I'm getting down the funnel? Who want to downsize their lifestyle and move into either a condo or a townhouse. And if they have equity in their home, they want to diversify that equity and maybe buy something south of the border and spend 6 months there and 6 months here. That's a niche. I'm at the bottom of the funnel now. A lot of people start at the top of the funnel. You could do this with upsizers, first-time home buyers. There's all different types of first-time home buyers. It's just you got to get deep in your niche. So, um, this is my screenshot of 2023. And you can see here, I actually did a targeting campaign on people who were getting divorced. That was fun. I had some really interesting negative comments on that one, but I actually did get some deals out of it, if you can believe it. So if you focus on the DZN Mississauga downsizers, yeah, Mississauga, the bottom one there, I had 242 leads, 37,000 reach, 166,000 impressions. My cost per result was 20. Now you might say, wow, that's really high. These are really good leads. I'm paying $20 for a really good lead. And my ad spend was $4,912.44. Okay. And I actually did this from, as you can see here, it says February 1st, 2023 to November 30th, 2023. Okay. These are my earnings from January 13th, 2023 to November. I pulled these from EXP, gave these to me, and everything that's got a red box in it is basically what I earned from this program. And you can see here, it totals up to $125,796.70 in GCI. There's some big ticket items there. These are all downsizing leads from the campaign that I ran. And it's, I was keeping track of this and I'm like, holy shit, this is actually working. So I built a course to show people how to actually do this themselves for their business. And I'm actually in the process of revamping the course because it's going to be running simultaneously with Nathan Graham's Echo Hub. We're partnering up on a bunch of stuff. But the numbers don't lie. This works. And it works because I wasn't focusing at the top of the funnel. I was focusing at the bottom of the funnel. Okay. So I kind of went into this already, but what is niche marketing? You have to be targeting a specific audience in your marketing. You can't be and I'm not saying you only work on that one audience. You can work on several audiences, but when you're working on several audience, you must target in each of those audiences. You can have 15 buckets of focus. You just need to be targeted in those buckets of focus. So examples of niche marketing, first-time home buyers, renters, investors, downsizers, divorced couples. I've got 11 people right now I'm working on with that are divorcing this year since January 1st, which is sad, but I'm here to guide them through that process. House hackers, flippers. I mean, it goes on and on. And each one of those is those niches, obviously you can drill down the funnel to get to something more specific with them, right? So I got some questions for you. Has anybody here run online leads before?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And what challenges do you face when it comes to online advertising? Like, is there something you would want to improve?
Yeah, I honestly found that the cost per lead wasn't bad, but I found that the leads weren't very serious.
Yeah.
Like they were, but I mean the agents might be able to speak on that more than me because I'm not on that end, right? Like I'm just seeing more the front end of it since I'm setting it up, but I'm not seeing really the back end. But like we had some conversions, but I wish there would have been more.
Yeah. Thanks for that, Sarah. Anybody else? Bueller, anyone? No. Um, Everybody focuses on the cost per lead. I used to do it too. And I'd be like, holy crap. My CPL is like $1.25, but the leads were shit. Okay. And
Right.
so it's funny. I started my team call, my Getty Group Ontario team call last week. Has anybody ever seen the 8-minute Alec Baldwin skit of in Glengarry Glen Ross, Coffees for
Yes.
Closers?
Yes.
That's how I opened my call last week. It was awesome. And,
So good.
the leads are weak. You're weak, right? Which is a totally different call, by the way. We can do another feature Friday on that. But what I will to uh, Tifa, do you have a question?
Yeah, sorry, I couldn't unmute fast enough when you were asking about the online leads. Can I make a comment or should I wait till you're,
Absolutely. That's
yeah.
what we're here for.
Okay, if you can hear me while I'm going through some reception poor areas, but what I find with online leads is that the ones that I do get a hold of and we speak, it seems that the first conversation often is a very good one, and then they just lose momentum somehow.
So
Was my um,
Tifa, you're cutting out a lot. Like we can barely hear what you're saying. You sound like a
I
little
got what she's
robot.
saying.
Oh, you
Tifa, I
did?
got what you're
That's
saying. So
amazing.
I'm
So
so sorry.
that is another feature Friday. A lot of people who call online leads. I mean, first and foremost, you got to get the lead, and how do you get that? Second of all, when you get the lead, what are you saying to the lead? And the way we train our agents is your phone calls, your initial call with the lead should be discovery based. Um, we have different techniques that we use, the 3-second pause, handling objections. We have everything that we deal with and we talk about. But I feel a lot of agents are very focused on seller talk, and they should be focused on discovery. Your job is to discover what is going on in that lead's life. They don't know you, they don't trust you. So you're building rapport, like, and trust through discovery on your calls. And it's very and it's basically question-based selling. You're asking questions, you're listening more than you're talking. And if you use a CRM such as Fob or whatever, it'll record the call. So you don't need to sit there and write everything down. You can go back to the transcript and review it. You can copy it. You can put it into AI. It'll summarize it for you and it'll do everything for you. So basically, to answer your question, um, you need to make sure that you are doing discovery-based, question-based selling. And your job is to not sit across from the lead. Your job is to sit beside the lead. And you want to get to the point in the conversation, and hopefully it's in the first 15 seconds where you're not sitting across from the lead, you're sitting beside them. Put your arm around them. What's going on with you? Why are we here? Why are you looking at condos in Newmarket? You know, and if they're looking and they say, "Oh, I'm just browsing," that's complete BS, because browsing is part of the buying process. So if they're browsing, they're interested. They might not be interested today, but they're going to be interested down the road. And your job is to make sure when you talk to these leads, you're in discovery mode. That's where your brain is. You're asking questions that are open, not closed. You want them to talk. You want them to give you information. And the other thing you need to make sure you do is mirror them. Mirroring is super important. If somebody answers the phone and they're very passive, you can't be coming across like a Tasmanian devil. You got to mirror their energy. And as their energy changes, you change your energy. If they're quiet, you can be quiet. You got to make sure you're mirroring what is going on the other side, because you're trying to get beside them, not across from them. And so with the online leads, because the leads were crap, but the cost per lead was high, you got to make sure that your leads are targeted to your niche audience and you have a hook in there. And you also got to be able to make sure you're going to give them something that would take them hours to find online and do research on. So for this downsizer campaign, and the fact that, I'm knee deep into Claude code and everything, this is why I've got to change my course, because what used to take me a week to do, I can create this now in 3 hours. And so I gave a value offer, lead magnet value offer of the top 6 condo buildings in Mississauga. Okay. And this was for people looking to downsize into a condo. And on my hook ads, I did video, carousel, and static ads. Across the bottom of the entire ad, it says something very simple, a red banner with white lettering, attention downsizers. So the people that are coming in If you're a first-time home buyer, you are not coming in to see my ad. You have no interest. If you're an investor, you're not clicking into my ad. So all the leads I were getting were downsizers in that niche that I created. And therefore, all the conversations with those leads were the same. My discovery is the same for every single one of those. Now, I did have a few that came in that were not downsizers. I had quite a few agents come in asking me what this is and how can I do this. And um, we never really sold this in Canada. We just sold it south of the border, but we're going to start selling it when I sell with Nate in Canada. But your question-based selling for that specific niche is the same for all of them. So your conversations are easy. You're finding out information about them regarding the hook ads, the campaign, and the niche. So it's a little easier. You're not saying, "Hey, are you currently buying? Do you currently own? Where do you currently live? Have you been approved for a mortgage?" You don't have to do any of that stuff with this particular niche, which is nice because you're having really good conversations with them. The only problem with downsizers is most of them are retired and they have all the time in the world to talk. So you have to make sure when you are having these calls, if the call gets out of the lane, you got to say, let me back up and get back into the lane because you got to make sure you stay in the lane. Otherwise, you're having some serious long conversations. Um, so how do you guys reach new clients? Phone calls, emails, texts? What's been the most effective lead generation source for you? Is it online? Is it referral based? Is it team based?
You can unmute, guys, or raise your hand. Everyone's being so shy this morning. Anna, go ahead.
In my case, it's
Sure.
referrals for sure,
Referrals?
right? Based on my 22 years experience, yes, and based on the using those two niches that I mentioned before. Also calls. I find out for me, as I'm kind of older generation, calls are more productive than just text or emails. That's my way.
Okay. I'm just jumping ahead here because we only have 10 minutes. That's great. Thanks for that, Anna. So when you're doing your niche funnel, it consists of three different phases: your awareness phase, your nurturing phase, and your action phase. So your awareness phase is basically your ads, 3 to 5 hook ads, static, carousel, and video, as well as, in exchange for their information, you're giving them the value offer. And the value offer can be a static PDF guide. It can be, and once they get in here, they go to my landing page. And my landing page is a video of me answering 10 important questions about downsizing. Because a lot of these people, it's overwhelming. They don't know where to start. They don't know what to do. They've got clutter. They've got renovations. And so that landing page it gives you 10 answers to 10 questions. It's me talking about that stuff. Nurturing phase, I do a lot of campaign retargeting. So people might see my ad and they might not click into it, but if they've seen it, it'll retarget on their news feed, which is good. It can get expensive, and I usually run around 5 to 7 retargeting ads. And some of them are different than the first ad that they saw, and some of them are the same. And the action phase is basically speed to lead, connecting with your lead. So there's a lot to build here. You have to build the campaign. Once they click into the campaign, they go to your landing page, and in the background, you've got your smart plan. Your smart plan is sending them the value offer and a link to the landing page. Then there's calls, emails, texts, right? For 33 days talking to these people. So you've got to really engage. This is one of my ads.
Mississauga, you're going to want to ensure you know the area and are not buying in a problematic building. Check out this amazing unit I'm in right now. Waking up to this view and experiencing the sunsets every evening with a very high walkable score is perfect. However, some buildings in Mississauga are not ideal. Having been in most of them over the past 20 years, I'm fully aware of the buildings, which are dominated by tenants and have issues with elevators and have lawsuits against them. Yes, that's a real thing, not to mention the location. After all, you're doing this to upgrade your lifestyle. Through 2 decades, many of my downsizer clients have purchased units like this with incredible views of Lake Ontario and its surrounding area. Having said that, I have clients who have also purchased in buildings north of the lake and the surrounding area, as there are amazing locations there as well. In Mississauga, there are several buildings that offer the upgraded lifestyle you're looking for as you start your downsizing journey. I've developed this comprehensive list for you, which illustrates the 6 best buildings to downsize to in Mississauga. Click the link below to get immediate access to this informational guide. You won't be disappointed, as this will help make the process stress-free for your experience and save you a lot of money at the same time.
Hook ad. Am I selling real estate there? I'm selling the lifestyle, right? So that video, there's other ones here. I won't play those for you, but this is my value offer. This is my magnet, right? And what's crazy is the amount of leads I got from just this static picture here on the ad outperformed any video ad, which I was like I took very personal because I think I like my videos. I don't know, I just like watching myself. But this outperformed all the other the static picture you see here outperformed everything. This is actually my landing page here. So you can book a 15-minute discovery call, and this is the video where you watch the 10 questions answered on there. And you can do this for any area, any place. You can run several of these if you want to. It depends how much money you want to spend. And I just talked about the static ad outperforming my video ads. I mean, the video ads at first did well, and then the static ads started doing very well. So, but video is important. And the reason why in my smart plan that I have running in the background, I am taking those 10 questions and I broke them up into 10 independent videos. And so each video was its own question. It was about 2 minutes long or less. What the power of video lets you do with your audience is it humanizes you with your audience. So when I would get in to meet these people at the first time to talk about their property and everything, they felt like they already knew me because they'd been watching my videos. I didn't know who they were. I'd see them for the first time. I'd talk to them on the phone to set up an appointment. But they already knew me, and I built rapport, like, and trust with them before I walked in the door by sending them these videos through my smart plan, which was pretty cool. Some of the things I did with my campaign retargeting on Facebook was, testimonials. This is a testimonial that would come up, the landing page video. The other thing I did, does anybody here send out newsletters? And is there all kinds of crap on those newsletters?
When
Like,
you
is there a
say
bit of
crap,
everything on there?
what do you mean?
I don't mean like the content's crap, but I just mean like, is there like some people do recipes and this and that and then,
No,
yeah,
it's
okay.
not random.
So
It's very intentional.
yes, intent. Great word, Sarah. So what I did was I created 12 newsletters on day when I was building my smart plan. I don't have time to sit here and generate newsletters. So I created 12 evergreen newsletters, and they get sent out on the third day of every month. And the newsletter is called, and it's to my downsizing audience, Smaller Living, Timely Insights for Downsizers. And everything in this newsletter is all surrounded about downsizing that and booking a call, right? So there's nothing in here that isn't related to downsizing. The Smaller Living Digest is all about downsizing. It's giving them value, and it's set up with the James Clear terminology of three things, right? And so they get these newsletters. They're scheduled on day one. They run for the whole year, and they don't stop. January's is January every year for every downsizer. Because I'll ask you this. You guys all get newsletters into your inbox. If you read a newsletter today on July 24th and you got the same newsletter next year, would you remember? Would you be like, hey, I saw this last year I can't remember what I did last week. So you don't have to reinvent the wheel every month. You could create 12 evergreen, set it, forget it, and have it run, which is better because you guys want to be spending your time is what you own. So you've got to make sure that you're using your time wisely. And in another call, I could show you guys how I've connected my Claude cowork to my Facebook Business Manager. It builds out all my ads for me now, and it actually scrapes the Business Manager every night, and it will give me data on what's performing well and what sucks. And so I'm spending my money on those ads efficiently. And that goes for not only the ads I'm running, but also my retargeting ads. It'll give me a full blueprint of what's working and what sucks so I can make sure that what I'm doing is working. And if I'm spending money on something that's not, I can turn it off. And so that's super important. Um, so I've also got this follow-up workflow here. Again, brief introduction, explain why you're calling, the calibrated question-based discovery questions. You're going to be finding the pain points, the motivations. They click for a reason. And that'll help you determine the quality of the lead. They could be 3 to 6 months, they could be 6 to 12. But you also want to position yourself as an expert, and you're going to be able to do that by answering their questions in the discovery. You don't want to be puking this stuff over everybody. You want to make sure your listening isn't passive, right? Passive listening is you're talking to me, I'm not even listening to you, and I'm worrying about what I'm going to say next to you. Okay. Action listening, as I call it, is basically listening to them. Once they stop talking, you repeat back to them what they told you. That tells the lead that you're listening to them. You understand. So you've got a husband, 2 kids, and a dog. You have kids that are 3 to 5 years old, so schools are important to you. They go to elementary school. One's going into kindergarten. You're in public or Catholic, so on and so forth. And every time you ask for an appointment, you got to be specific. Never say, what's convenient for you next week? You're giving them an out. Instead, you say, this is basic sales 101. Are you available next week at 6 o'clock? Right? Next Tuesday at 6 o'clock. I'm not available. How's Wednesday at 3? Right? Give them specifics. You must. It's super important. The less questions you ask that are closed, that are going to give them a reason to say no to you, is going to kill you. You're dead, right? So the other thing I will tell you is if people have called leads and they're like, I'm not interested right now. I was just browsing. That's great. Why are you browsing? What makes you want to come to my site? Keep asking these open-ended question-based questions rather than just closing the door. Because if you got to be this is a skill, by the way, and it's a muscle, and you got to build it. It's not built overnight. You can't build good biceps overnight. You got to take 6 months to do it. It's the same with this. So you got to make sure your questions are getting them to talk. They're open-ended questions. And based on those answers, you can then go down the lane and give them your expertise, right? I think we got 2 minutes. So, what niche should you pick? How long does it take to launch a campaign? Well, it can take as long as you take, or it can take 3 hours. You can run different campaigns at the same time, and it is very easy to convert niche leads over broad leads. And the results, it depends on how much you want to work. And I always tell my agents, never focus on the outcome, always focus on the work. Because if you focus on the outcome, you're gonna get deterred. It's just like anything else. You focus on the work, the money from the outcome will come. Focus on the work. Calling leads is arithmetic. It's not sales. I want to call 100 people today. That's the math. You're not worried about the outcome of those 100 calls. Your focus is on the work of calling 100 people. That's your job. You might get 2 or 3 meaningful conversations out of it and a couple of appointments, but the goal is the 100. It's not the outcome of the appointments, if that makes sense. Do I need experience? No, you don't. You just need direction. And that's pretty much it. I think I just put a bow on that, and that's the fastest I've ever got through that. It's crazy. Before we wrap up, any questions?
I have couple.
Go ahead, Anna.
Number one is not, it's not maybe question. I noticed from your video that whatever you're offering to those downsizers, you need and you must know those buildings. So when you talk about that, means like you have to learn and first go and check everything before you even start to talk about that, right?
100%. And that is done in the research part of when you build the foundation of your campaign. And in 2023, I did this all myself. I can go into AI and search any building, and it'll tell me everything and everything about it. And I can actually then take that and build a value offer from it, right? You want to make sure too you have an ability to go back and talk to these people. So there might be one building that you don't have on there, and you can give them a listen. I know that building well. Would you be okay if I sent you detailed information on that building? I will get it to you in the next hour. Does that work for you? Yeah, that'd be great. They're not going to say no, right?
Okay.
And you could
Yeah.
build that PDF in 15
but
minutes.
I got you. But my question was mostly like, do you physically check everything, or you use the AI, or you use the information?
So in this case, for this program, I know those buildings. I used to live in one of them, and I know that whole area. I've sold in those buildings. So the only thing I don't really know that you wouldn't know is if there's any liens against the building or lawsuits, right? Um, but you can do that research pretty quick.
And the second question was, do you use the same videos every month, like, or do you create something new every month?
Great question.
I have that video I showed you. I've used it since 2023. I have not changed it. I've turned it off. I've turned it back on. If you feel that your videos are not doing well, then maybe you want to create new content. You can have the same messaging in there and have a different setting. That one was filmed in one of my colleagues' condos who was in Florida for 6 months. I just basically went in his condo and I filmed it. The funny thing is that condo is on Stadium Road at Lakeshore and Bathurst. It's not even in Mississauga. So, but you can also go to a condo in Mississauga that's vacant, and you can book your half-hour appointment and record your video in there too, right?
Got you.
Like you
And
can do that
how
too
often,
with permission.
how often do you repeatedly advertise those?
How often do I run my ads?
Yeah.
That's a great question because sometimes I'm so busy and like that one downsizer campaign generated over the course. I just showed you the 2023. I've got 512 leads from that, and there's gold in that database, and I've got my Getty Group team actually calling those leads now. And we've got a plan and a process in place. I run everything on the back end, and their job is to just focus on the discovery of the lead. And we just started this week actually because I want them making more calls every day, and it's good practice for them. If they get some gold out of it, great. But they're using those leads as reps to get better in their discovery and their question-based selling.
Thank you very much, Will.
You're welcome. Any
So
other
good.
questions?
Anyone else?
And
Amazing.
you have access to me. You can reach out to me anytime if you've got questions. I'm in all the LPT groups, but they're muted because they're super annoying because I get messages all the time. I was with someone the other day and they're like, 423 messages? Who the hell are you? I'm like, don't worry about it. I'm not that important. They're not for me.
It's when you do like the hair flip, you're like,
Yeah.
that's so good.
Yeah.
Amazing. Well, thank you for popping on again this morning and showing us the light as per usual. This was amazing. I definitely learned quite a few things. So thank you. And then we look forward to next time when you're back with us again.
In September.
September. I'm so
I'm going to
excited
show you
already.
guys, for all of you here that have YouTube channels or anything, I'm going to show you how to do a full audit. You can do this on your website, everything. I just took my YouTube channel from a score of 26 out of 100 to 92.
So good. And that's
Full
the
audit.
hook.
Yeah,
That's the
that's the
hook
hook.
right there. That's what I'm going to use in the marketing. So
Thanks for
great.
having me as always, guys. Appreciate you. Crush it in your business and reach out if you have any questions.